Htwow February Season 4.
Hey, Htwow friends. It's Dave and Toby. Old Waver and High Tea. Or High Tea and Old Waver, as it's more commonly heard. Before we get to lots of hot jams, including a heartfelt look back at the life and times of Eddie Van Halen, and some random crap that I found today. Want to bring your attention to two things. One, our website, oldwaver.com. If you are interested in this pod and you want to learn more about us, if you want to go back and listen to old pods, if you want to figure out where you can subscribe, all of that is at oldwaver.com. And the other thing that you can find there is the premium page, which brings you to our Patreon page, which is where the After Dark lives. The After Dark is the post-party of this podcast. It is, I don't know, it's not X-rated, but it's probably like PG-13 to R. Just depends on how drunk we are. It's more songs, and it's more drunk, and it's more of a party. And it's exclusively for our patrons. You can only get it by subscribing, so go to oldwaver.com and click on premium, or go to patreon.com and type in HTWOW, and you'll find us. And for as little as $5 a month, you can get some sweet merch and the After Dark pod. Please become a patron and tell all your friends. We love you so much. Here's content.
Pod.
That was like in the olden days, if you were like the blacksmith who made bells, you were making bank.
Yeah, and you had to be strong as hell. Like, who's lifting the bells?
Right?
Some big ass bells. How'd they get those bells up there in those big towers?
Aliens.
Aliens did it?
Yeah, ancient aliens did that.
That makes sense. That's the only thing that makes sense.
I know. Yeah, a little bit hot tonight. I can barely see the road from the heat coming on.
Reach down between my legs, ease the seat back.
She's running, I'm buying, right behind it, real me now. Got my feeling, power searing, busy popping, ain't no stopping now.
Yeah, this is Htwow February 2021, the 43rd episode of High Tea with Old Waver. Thank you for being here. I am Dave. I am the Old Waver part, at Old Waver on Twitter. He is Toby, the High Tea part, at Toby Pipes on Twitter. And together, we create this monthly podcast. It's a song swap and a beer swap. And we play tunes for each other. We drink beer with one another. And we try and have a good time, and hopefully you do too. This is once again a COVID times socially distanced pod. It's very unfortunate, but times being what they are and schedules for human beings being what they are, we just couldn't be in the same place at the same time. You know, it's not like either of us are COVIDed up. Like I didn't get round 2, and you had a near miss, and you're totally fine.
Yeah,
But-
that worked out. We had a scare.
You did have a scare. I think everybody by this time has had a scare.
Yeah, I was almost exposed, Dave.
Yeah, but we weren't able to be in the same place at the same time. We tried to make it happen, just didn't happen. But we still plan to have a good time. We're still drinking the night away. I am drinking, since we're apart, I don't have the Goodfriend beer cooler there in your studio.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have brews to share with you.
Brew.
But I will tell you what I'm drinking, and you can tell me what you're drinking.
Okay.
I have a selection. So last month I did the kind of ranch water seltzer,
Yes.
right? I'm kind of on a seltzer kick.
You are on a seltzer kick.
I'm not gonna lie. There's something about the seltzer because it's lighter and fewer calories than the cider, but
Okay.
it's just as refreshing. And I don't know. You know, I've been packing on the LBs here in COVID times, and I need all the help I can get. So I am doing Austin Eastciders, the black cherry spiked seltzer, made with real fruit, only 100 calories.
That's awesome. You know, I like the Austin East Cider.
I don't know if you are like a soda connoisseur, but when I was a kid, I didn't get to drink a lot of sodas. Like my mom did not keep Cokes in the fridge.
Okay.
We had, like Crystal Light and milk. That's basically what we could drink.
Crystal Light, huh?
Yeah, like Crystal Light lemonade or fruit punch or something,
Wow.
or like whole milk. Those were our options.
Man.
And so when I used to go visit my grandparents in New York when I was a kid, my grandparents would have sodas stocked in the fridge for when I came. And so it was always black cherry soda or cream soda.
Wow.
Like very random East Coast old school beverages.
So
right?
not like your A&W cream soda.
No, it would be some off-brand, like the A&P store brand cream soda,
Okay.
or the black cherry soda. But for whatever reason, because I drank those as a child and because it was such a special treat that I never got to have except for when I visited my grandparents, to this day, I love cream soda and I love black cherry soda. And this black cherry seltzer tastes just like black cherry soda. It's clear. It's not like dark like black cherry soda. But it tastes the exact same, and it gets you drunk.
Even better. Wow, what a heartwarming story, Dave.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's really nice. You know, my parents were they were Coke drinkers. And now they are diet, because before the diet thing went down, we all would just drink Cokes. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then it became Diet Coke, and now they are Diet Dr. Pepper. But my treat, like when I was in first grade, when my mom taught across the hall, so I wouldn't take the bus home, I would just go across the hall while she finished up in the afternoon. And my treat was to walk down to the Coke machine, and I used to love a Big Red, Dave.
Yeah.
You like a Big Red?
The Big Red. Yeah, that was the other thing is every once in a while, my parents never really took us anywhere, but every once in a while we would take a family road trip. Mm-hmm. Everyone would get in the minivan, and we would go see like the Grand Canyon, or we would go drive and visit family on the East Coast. And so it was always, again, a treat if you got 50 cents to go to the vending machine at the Motel 6. And so there were always things in the hotel or motel vending machine that you wouldn't get at home, like Tahitian Treat or like Big Red.
Mr. Pibb.
Tab. Yes, Tab. Oh, God, I love some Tab. I was sad when they discontinued Tab.
Tab always had a weird taste to me. I don't know what it is.
It was the aspartame.
Is that what was that? Were they the first with the aspartame?
Yeah, they were the first with the aspartame, I think. It really attacked the tongue.
It did set up on you. That's for sure. Yeah. But I remember,
so you were a Big Red fan.
I liked Big Red, but that couldn't be in the house. We didn't have any Big Red, so that's why it was a treat. You know what I mean? But
is Big Red strawberry, or what is the flavor? I don't even remember.
Red.
It's just red flavor.
What is the flavor? Is it like strawberry?
I don't know. Here, hold on. Let me Google it.
It's red
Big
bubble flavor.
Red. It's the number one red soda.
Oh, well, that's got to be how many are there?
I don't know.
You know, Dave.
It was originally known as Suntang Red Cream Soda.
Yeah, that is going to be our daytime disco band, Suntang.
Suntang.
Yeah. Suntang.
Yeah, I guess it is a cream soda, but it's just red.
Oh, it's a cream soda?
Yeah.
Huh. It's not like a strawberry cream soda or...
It's according to Wiki, its flavor, though often thought to be bubble gum, is created by mixing orange and lemon oils with the traditional vanilla used in cream sodas.
Orange and lemon oils?
Yeah, orange and lemon oils with vanilla.
Okay.
So it's a cream soda with orange and lemon and red food color.
I haven't had one in years. You know, Clay in the Deep Blue Band, he will break off a Big Red on you. He will.
Do you ever put that in the rider? Case of Big Red?
You know what? A liter of Big Red might have made it onto the rider at one point because that looks cool on the rider. Get some Big Red. And that'll make...
A 2 liter or a 1 liter? Because a 1 liter... that might be like the wildest goose chase ever. Going to every convenience store trying to find a 1 liter.
Are the big ones? Red. Are they 2 liters? Are those 2 liters?
Yeah, the big one.
Okay, yeah. And man, could you imagine what would happen like in Copenhagen if they're looking for a Big Red?
What is this? Never heard of it.
They. Those poor bastards used to try to hunt down Tostitos and salsa, and we'd just be like, we don't need Tostitos, and y'all should call somebody. Quit looking all over town for this We're fine.
This is our U.S. rider. You don't have to follow everything.
Put some pastries back here. We're good. You guys make good stuff.
So what are you drinking?
Man, look at this. I'm drinking a Guinness in Guinness glass, right?
Nice. Did you do the nitro or what do you got there?
Yeah, it's the can. You know, this can that has the little ball in it. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It actually does a good job. It's way better than if you get it in the bottle. The bottle is always a little flat.
Yeah, I haven't had I haven't poured my own Guinness in forever. I had one in the fridge for a long time, and I don't know what happened to it. It might still be there. I might have to join you later if I can find it.
Man, it's so good. I mean, it's nothing like the real thing, but it's still good. I love the taste of a Guinness.
Well, we are a drinking pod, but we're also a music pod. And if the opening tune tipped you off, this is going to be somewhat of a Toby book report episode. Mm-hmm. It was October 6th, back in the fall, that Eddie Van Halen left us. He was... So he died at the age of 65 after a long battle with cancer.
Well, a bunch of different cancers. We'll get into that at the end. There was a lot of different things that went on right there at the end.
Yeah. And we've probably mentioned it, but after he died, then Manny died, and we got distracted by Manny. And we really haven't talked about the legacy of Eddie Van Halen and Van Halen on the pod, even though it's maybe outside of what you might expect from us.
It's not really our style, but you have to admit, Eddie Van Halen has definitely touched both of our lives, no doubt about it.
Maybe mine more so than yours, because I was a metalhead in junior high.
Well, I went through it. I went definitely my 5th, 6th, 7th grade, early 7th grade before I changed over, before the hair got real tall.
Right.
It was full on. You know, Todd brought the Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Kiss jams, and then all of a sudden it seems like, well, we'll get into it.
Okay.
You always play the first jam.
Yeah, you had the benefit of the older brother, which we've talked about in the past. So yeah, we'll talk about our formative metal years and the legacy of Eddie Van Halen later. Certainly it's well after the fact, but we do what we want on this pod.
Yeah.
And, we play jams that we like. And you told me what you had planned to do the other day. And you were like, just in case it changes what you're going to do. And originally I was like, yeah, no, I'm just going to play the stuff that I had planned on playing. Uh-huh. But then the more I thought about it today, the more I was like, no, I can't do that. And I might play some of that stuff on the After Dark later. But, I was going to play like some kind of, daytime disco, kind of the same stuff we've been playing lately. And I was going to play some, super dancey thing. And I was just like, that's just not going to fit with the vibe of a Van Halen pod. So I was like, I need to really dig in and find some stuff with a little bit more of an edge, with some guitars, maybe something that is a little bit more of a party jam than what I was going to play. And so I'm going to kick us off with a band out of Canada.
That's to the north of here.
Yes, they are a Toronto band that has been around for 20 years now. And
am I supposed to guess it?
No.
Okay.
I guess you could, but
I probably won't. Is it Platinum Blonde?
No. So they got together in 2001. Their first record came out in 2004, and they've been very sporadic in their output. They broke up for a while. They got back together. And so this year they are putting out only their 4th ever record. So 4 albums in 20 years.
Wow.
They're a 2-piece. Does that narrow it down for you at all?
Pet Shop Boys.
No. I am speaking of Death from Above 1979. You know them?
I have heard that if you hear that name once, you don't forget it, but I know none of their material.
Yeah, so they originally were known as Death from Above, but then, you know, the label, the New York label that LCD Sound System and many other New York bands were on was also called Death from Above.
Okay.
DFA. And so they had to change their name. So in the U.S., they are known as Death from Above 1979. Yeah, and so the first record came out in 2004. It was called You're a Woman, I'm a Machine. And I don't know if you remember, I don't know if we were both at that South by Southwest in either 2004 or 2005 when they were one of the the hot shit bands that were at that particular South by.
That might have been where I heard of that. Did you go see them?
I think I tried to. So what I remember is that they were playing at the Mohawk, up on Red River, and it was oversold, and so many people were trying to get in, and kids were like climbing the chain link fence outside Mohawk, and they ended up tearing the chain link fence down.
Woo!
And it was punk rock. You know, they had to call the cops and shut down the show and everything.
Nice.
So they had their moment, but like I said, they broke up, they went away, and now they're older dudes. They're they have families and stuff, and this song is actually very much influenced by one of the members, his wife and his unborn child, which I will delve into that afterwards. But so it's Jesse Keeler and Sebastian Granger are the two dudes, and they just put out this song a couple of weeks ago. It's brand new. The new record is going to be entitled "Is for Lovers." So Death from Above 1979 is for lovers. And the song is entitled 1+1 or One on One. I don't know.
Either way, it's very Valentine's-y, Dave. I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess it is Valentine's-y because it is about love.
Mm-hmm. It's for lovers and death.
And so, why don't you just consider this my Valentine to you?
Oh,
this is Death from Above 1979.
I didn't get you anything.
What'd you think of that, bro?
Man, that's really good. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Is that I'm a Robot band.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's like a little heavier version, but the singer has a I don't know, some quality to it. It sounds just like it. It's in his voice, but also the recording of it is fantastic. Like, that sounds really good in the headphones.
Yeah, so the singer, the guy that does the lead vocals is the drummer.
Okay.
So they're a two-piece, and so Jesse Keeler plays bass and Sebastian Granger plays drums, and that's it. I mean, obviously in the studio they add, synth and other stuff.
Yeah.
They layer in stuff, but I mean, that's a bass, that's not a guitar.
Yeah, he's just got some fuzz kicking on there.
Yeah. And he's got a really unique singing style, and he's kind of like the Phil Collins type, where he's the front man and the drummer at the same time.
Yeah, it's got to be tough to because he's got some hi-hat work going on there. It's got to be tough to pull that off and sing at the same time. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they are cool. Like, two pieces were kind of a thing, right, at the beginning of the aughts.
Mm-hmm, with all the Black Keys and all those.
Yeah, maybe it was the White Stripes.
White Stripies. Yeah.
But you see, if you see the White Stripes, Meg is just bashing out a basic rhythm, and it's all about watching what Jack White does.
Right.
But when you see Death from Above 1979, it's more about what the drummer's doing, because, like you said, he's just high energy, a million miles an hour, hi-hat all over the place, but also singing.
God, how do they?
Like, it just seems impossible.
Yeah, it's one of those situations that if you're a sound guy for a live show, how are you getting the vocals isolated enough to cut through with cymbals and hi-hats and snare drums? It's just got to be, I mean, obviously it can be done.
It's got to be the tightest microphone ever.
I mean, Phil Collins or I guess Don Henley with the Eagles, they've been doing it forever, but still, it's just got to be a nightmare for those guys.
Yeah, so Granger said that his wife, Eva, was pregnant not long after they started working on this song. And after hearing an earlier version, she said, "I wish this song was dancier." So he went back into the studio and reworked the drums.
Yeah, made it a little hi-hatty.
Yeah, and then so he said as the record was taking shape, every time that he would come home from the studio, the baby would start dancing in his wife's belly. Mm-hmm. And so he knew he was onto something. So it's a groovy jam. I like it.
What he has,
I mean, it certainly has very little in common with Van Halen, but at least it kicks it.
It's a jam. That band could open up for Van Halen. Why not?
Sure.
Right?
I would love to see it.
I mean, come on! Not now, though. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to do that. That's great. You know what they have to look forward to is when he is at a school function with his kid, and they can go, "Oh, you're a musician. What band?" And he gets to go, "It's called Death from Above, 1979." That'll be his thing. That he'll do forever, and everyone will be like, "It's called what? Death." It's called Death from Above, and then it has a year, 19. Yeah, I'm just saying. It'll
go over great at the PTA meeting.
Yeah.
You ever heard of Napalm? Yeah, we named our band after that.
Well, what are you doing now? How are things been? What's up?
Man, I just been
doing some squats.
Yeah, I want to do some squats, but I haven't started yet. I'm too scared to join a gym, even though I need to.
Yeah, don't join a gym, bro.
I know.
Home gym.
I live in an apartment, and I have some dumbbells, and I guess I could do, I could look up some YouTube workouts, but I'm just too lazy to do that.
Do you know where the phrase the phrase dumbbell or the word dumbbell came from?
No.
Have you ever thought about how stupid dumbbell looks like when it's written down?
Mm-hmm.
It has like two B's right there in the middle. Dumbbell.
Yes. Okay.
We saw it written on something the other night, and I was kind of like, hey, why do they call those things dumbbells? You ever thought about it?
You ever thought about it? And so what's the answer? Don't leave me hanging.
There's some English poet or somebody that kind of, it was written in something about, it does have to do with working out, I think, but it was when you have a bell, like a church bell, and the thing that makes the sound go dingy dingy ding, when that's taken out of there, it's a dumbbell. So when they would work out or pull the rope where the thing was, but they wouldn't bother everyone because it had the thing out, and it was called a dumbbell. Or you could lift them up in the air and it wouldn't make noise, so it's called a dumbbell.
Now I have to know what the hangy downy thing is called.
It's called the dongle. Are you looking up what the hangy downy thing is? You're about to hit some weird sites. It sucks you can't hear the background music. It's nice.
I know. Let's see. It's the clapper.
So
parts of a typical tower bell is the bell yoke or headstock, the cannons, the crown, the shoulder, the waist, the sound bow, the lip, the mouth, the clapper, and the bead line.
I didn't know that bells were so sexy.
I know, right?
Right? I knew we'd get to bell talk. We always do.
That was like in the olden days, if you were like the blacksmith who made bells, you were making bank.
Yeah, and you had to be strong as hell. Like, who's lifting the bells?
Right?
Some big ass bells. How'd they get those bells up there in those big towers?
Aliens.
Aliens did it?
Yeah, ancient aliens did that.
That makes sense. That's the only thing that makes sense.
I know. I do want to talk to you a little bit later about the Super Bowl halftime show. Wanted to get your impressions of the weekend.
Okay.
Because that just took place. Who knows when you'll hear this podcast, and that may be really old news for you. But I thought it was particularly interesting given COVID times and the way that they took advantage of the circumstances. But let's go ahead and get into the book report. Mm-hmm. And how did the news hit you when you first heard that EVH had passed away?
I mean, I don't know about you, but we've kind of known he was sick for a while, and he had that tongue cancer thing that was just, it had to have been a nightmare. They said it took like most of his tongue out when they kind of fixed that. That had to have been a thing.
Right.
And he blamed it on, do you know what he blamed it on? He used to, go ahead. He blamed it on holding his pick in his mouth, right? Yeah, but not just because they were those brass or copper picks.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't just like a regular plastic pick. But he also said, could be years of, he said he's been smoking and drinking since he was 12 years old, so. I don't know too many people that have their tongue taken out because of smoking, but later on the throat cancer and the lung cancer kind of got him, and then the stroke. But let's start off with fun times first.
Didn't Eddie dip as well, or did he just smoke?
I'm sure he did just about everything. Right?
Yeah.
Born 1955. I guess we figured that out a minute ago because we had to figure out what age he was.
Right.
But in the Netherlands, and I think a lot of people know that. Like, that's not like he was born in Amsterdam. He wasn't born in California and they kicked it off. I mean, his name is Van Halen. But his mom is from this weird island.
His dad was Jan Van Halen.
Yes, and
he was a jazz pianist.
Yeah, and his mom was from Rakesbitung in Java. It's spelled like Java, but you say Jawa in the Dutch East Indies. And then they finally settled in the Netherlands. But he was only there till he was like 7. Right. So then they cruised to Pasadena.
Yeah, so it's crazy how they ended up in Pasadena.
Yeah, that's a weird move. But yeah, so the folks kind of wanted Alex and Eddie to both be big-time piano players, which makes sense. But one thing I read that was funny is that Alex picked the guitar first and Eddie played the drums. Isn't that weird? I mean, what could have happened to the tapping solo if that would have lasted? Not that Alex wouldn't have figured that out at some point, maybe. But they have on the wiki that he switched over to drums because Eddie heard Alex play Wipeout on the drums one day and was like, well, you should just play the drums and I'll play the drums.
You're better at this than me.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So that's what happened. But so when did there's no way you're probably going to remember like exactly, but when did Van Halen, like when you heard that first, because the first record was huge, and I'm going to play a song off the first one because it had, it was the one with Eruption on it, you know, and Jamie's crying, and you know, that record was huge. Running with the Devil.
Well, and back to the earlier conversation that we kind of teased, the fact that you had the older brother. You know, you were exposed to things maybe earlier than other kids would have. Back in the 70s, when, you know, the first couple records came out, you know, I was still living in New York, and I remember my best friend, we used to climb this tree in his front yard. That was just what we did. Man. Is we climbed this tree in his front yard. It was our climb tree.
So Dave, our younger lives are so simple that all we needed was like a big red or a tab and to climb a tree.
Right. Yeah, we didn't have tablets or cable TV, so we just climbed a tree
and drank some tab.
And so, but it was like catty corner across the street was a house where some high school kids lived. And so we would always hear them hanging out after school and playing their Kiss records and their AC/DC records and their Van Halen records. And it scared the living crap out of us.
Hell yeah.
Because, you know, we were innocent little elementary schoolers and we just thought that was like satanic music.
Well, yeah, this is in like 1978 probably, so you're like, what, 6 years old?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was scary. And so I really didn't become fully aware of Van Halen until 1984.
Oh, okay.
I didn't listen to anything before 1984 until after that record was so huge.
Yeah. Well, Todd and his buddies were on Van Halen from day one. So that meant I was on it too. So when I'm 7 and this record comes out, I know. But you got to think Todd's 11. And his band even, I guess, when he was in 7th grade at the talent show, they played the Girl You Really Got Me. But the Van Halen, not the Kinks version, of course, they wanted to be Van Halen. They were called Destiny.
Nice.
They played that at the talent show, and I got to actually leave 5th grade early and go see them jam this. It was awesome. I think my mom had to talk the guitar player into actually going up on stage, this guy Robbie, because he got so nervous he didn't want to go up there. But they ended up playing, and it was awesome. Girl, you really got me now. You remember that jam, right?
Yes, of course.
But off of this, I always, to this day, because Van Halen has a deal, it's sort of like a rat thing, especially early Van Halen, where new wave kids, Van Halen gets a little bit of a pass in the early days, right?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, and this
I don't know why.
It's just, I think sometimes when things are just good, they're good.
I think it was just because David Lee Roth was just so over the top.
Yeah, he's wild ass. And the song I'm going to play after this is from a video, and it's the reason why I'm playing the live is you just have to watch both of them. They're just so rock and roll. It's insane. But this is them kicking it off in 1978, and I thought I like the fact that, I mean, he grows up getting all of his influence from Eric Clapton, right? Learning every solo. I think there was something that it wasn't on the wiki, but I heard this a long time ago, that he used to get Cream records or whatever and slow them down and figure out the solos and then speed it up and play along with it. So that's his like main influence, but then of course he took it to a level of like Clapton can't do that stuff.
Right.
Like there's just no way. I mean, he started off a whole thing of shredding that people, no one ever heard anything like that before. So he is the dude. But let's play, you said you didn't know this song, right?
I mean, maybe when you play it, but I don't remember the name. Like I said, I haven't spent a whole ton of time with those old records.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is Van Halen. A lot of people call it Van Halen 1, but it's their first one because, you remember back then you just called it the band name, and then the next one was Van Halen 2.
Yeah, just the Led Zeppelin model.
Yeah, exactly. So let's play Atomic Punk from Van Halen.
I can't wait. EVH, Htwow.
Pod.
I am a victim of the science.
So great.
Yeah.
Man.
Isn't that crazy? Just so wild. I mean, yeah, so when you're like 8 years old.
That was track 2, side 2.
Mm-hmm. After Jamie's crying. Yeah, that's right.
Man, I need to go back and listen to these.
It's that whole record is absolutely amazing. Done it that Sunset Sound. You know, with that documentary?
Oh yeah. I finally watched that after you talked about it. Was it last pod?
Yeah, I think so.
About it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, and so he's got a thing, man. It's it also when you're young and you kind of want to be a guitar player, it'll also make you might want to just quit. Because you're not going to do that stuff. There's no way.
Right. Yeah. Like you listen to Van Halen, like, well, I can't do that. And then you listen to the Smiths and you're like, well, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, Jesus and Mary Chain comes along. And you're like, I can do that. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm glad we're doing this, Dave. We're mixing it up. Right?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the wiki and it says that he and Alex started their first band when Eddie was in 4th grade.
Uh-huh. Did you see the name of it?
Yeah, the Broken Combs.
Yeah. My first band was in 4th grade. I've told you about it.
I don't remember the name.
It was me and Pat Murphy and David Toney. You know David and
yes.
Pat. Yeah, you know both of them.
Yes.
It was called Rapid Fire.
Oh, that's a good one.
And guess what the name of our first song was?
Rapid Fire?
It was called Rapid Fire. But our hit...
What was the name of the record? Was it called Rapid Fire?
Well, our hit would have... The name of the record probably would have just been Rapid Fire 1. But we had a song called Corner Store Cafe. And it went... No, I take that back. That was a song called Maze Pills because Pat's sister brought back a rugby shirt. And we thought that it said Maze Pills on it, but it was like a Pilsner beer thing on the rugby shirt. So we wrote a song called Maze Pills, and it went like this.
That was the hit?
Yeah, it went dun 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 dun, and then we go Maze Pills at the drugstore. Oh oh oh.
It sounds awesome.
What do you think? Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Corner Store Cafe
graders?
kind of had the same chord progression, but just different words.
Did you ever play the Whisky A Go Go?
Yeah, that's where when I met Screech outside.
May he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm. We've told that story on the pod before.
Yeah, when he tried to force his way onto your bus.
Well, they were. I was sitting in the front of the bus after we played Whisky A Go Go, and 4 dudes walking down the street, and one dude knocks on the bus door because I was up there and was like, "Hey, can we hang out with you guys?" I was like, "No, the band doesn't like really people to just come on the bus or whatever." And the guy just stares at me for a little bit, and then he goes, "Screech is in our band." And I was like, "What?" And Screech sticks his head around the corner into the bus door, and I was like, "Get on the bus."
That's all you had to say.
Yep. And so we...
Why didn't you lead with that?
Yeah, and then so we ended up in the back of the bus, and he was back there just smoking, just going, "You guys are the pimps." It was pretty cool.
I saw that leading up to his untimely death, he was working on a Tool cover band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that he was obsessed with Tool, and
Wow.
he was a bass player, and he was obsessed with Tool's bass player, and that he was starting a Tool cover band.
Man, I'll tell you what. You don't think that the guy that he's as famous as he was, but when he's in the back of the bus and crew people are coming back one at a time going, hey guys, we got to clear it up back here. We got to, let's get moving. And then they would look around the room and go, wait, you're Screech.
So random.
Like, it's just look around like, hey, these other guys, man, y'all got to go. Are you?
But Screech, take all the time
you
you need.
Screech? Yeah. All right, y'all scoot over. Let me hang out with you guys. Screech will make a party happen.
Right? So, yeah, I guess Van Halen was one of the staples at Whisky A Go-Go, and that's what got them signed. Mm-hmm. Was those shows.
Warner Brothers, right? Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, and they kicked it off hard and heavy. It seems like by the time Van Halen, that first record came out, that they were already doing pretty well, and at least out there, right?
Right.
That's kind of what, because they started in like 72 or 73 or something, so they were already cooking for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy when you look at their discography, because, 1984 is the tipping point. That's when they become megastars. That's when they're on MTV every hour. And then that's the breakup of, the band and David Lee Roth. So then you have 5150 in 86 and OU 812 in 88. So it was like it was just a steep decline after 1984.
Well,
but between,
except for record sales, they still sold a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I know that there are some. I don't understand who they are, but there are those people that prefer Van Hagar. I don't understand anything.
Yeah, I don't, but I don't mind Sammy Hagar. He's all right. I thought it was.
No, he's fine.
I thought it was cool that there would be another guitar player up there that was. He's a really good guitar player, so I thought it was cool every now and then that Eddie Van Halen and Sammy Hagar were playing on the same thing. But was it the same Van Halen? No, it's not even. You got to have David Lee Roth with buttless chaps up there with giant fur boots kicking his leg by his head. That's
right.
What you do. That's
but
good stuff.
Just they averaged a record a year from 78 to 82. There was Van Halen, then Van Halen 2, then Women and Children First, then Fair Warning, then Diver Down, and then they waited 2 years before 84. Mm-hmm. But just so prolific leading up to that tipping point.
Yeah.
And it sucks that Dave thought, I guess Dave just became so full of himself and he was like, I don't need these other guys.
I don't know if that was the case. I think that might have been maybe a mutual split there, because I think they were done with him. Weren't they hating him? Yeah, I thought that Eddie and Dave just they were not on the same page.
I mean, when you have 4 full throttle personalities, mega famous,
lots of booze,
mega rich,
lots of drugs,
so much booze, so much drugs, so many girls.
Todd saw him on the Diver Down tour in Houston. I think that might have been one of his first ones he could go by himself. And he said when they came out on stage and that show started, it was David Lee Roth they started over like 3 times at the beginning. David Lee Roth didn't know the words, went running across the stage when they finally got it kicking off, hit the first step, and when they'd have the bi-level stages, totally flattens it, picks up a bottle, chunks it at a stagehand guy because it was like it was their fault. He said it was the wildest thing ever, and then he said it was just awesome from then on out. But
they got it together.
Yeah, the whole beginning was just crazy. I mean, the song that I'm going to play later from that 81 concert, you hear Eddie goes into the verse one whole thing early, and then he kind of looks at Michael Anthony, and they kind of are just jamming and keep it going, and like, I don't care, and then they're back into it again. It's awesome. But that's back when people, could you imagine I mean, they must have just woken up every day like, what the hell happened last night?
Are we all still alive?
Yeah, because remember, that's the story. I've told you that before about Alex jumping out of the window. You ever heard that David Lee Roth story?
No.
Where they were at that famous hotel on Sunset, and Alex wakes up the next day, I think it was Alex, and was like, why do I have all these cuts and bruises all over me? And they were like, and David Lee Roth's like, man, last night at the hotel, remember you kept telling everybody you could fly and you jumped out of the window. And Alex is like, why'd you let me jump out of the window? And he was like, man, I thought you could do it.
Man.
But he
so
said they were
good.
only on the second floor, so he just barely... He just kind of jumped out and hit the ground.
Just landed in a holly bush and got some scrapes. Man, what a disappointment that Eat 'Em and Smile record was.
Is that's the David Lee Roth one, right?
That was with California Girls. Or
Just
was
a
it California
Gigolo?
Girls? Yeah, Just a Gigolo and Yankee Rose.
Yeah, he got real Broadway, didn't he? Or not? I guess, like, I don't know, what do you call that? Like clowny.
Yeah, it was very show-tuney.
Like Vegas-y. It's like Vegas show-tuney, yeah.
Yeah, well, and it makes sense that that's where he is now. That it's come full circle, and now he is Mr. Vegas. Anyway.
Yeah, but at one moment in time, those four guys were extraordinary at what they did. We've talked about this way too long. Let's get to some other jams or something else.
Yeah, okay, so as I said earlier, I went down the rabbit hole today trying to find some more guitar-oriented jams to play.
Some rock.
And yeah, and so I almost decided to play a new song by Mogwai.
Okay.
They have a new record coming out, and they are famously an instrumental band, but this song actually has a vocal, not a guest vocal, but one of the dudes in the band singing, and it's good, but it's a little on the somber side, so I might save it for the after dark. So I wanted something again that was going to bring the party.
We needed a Mogwai with a guest David Lee Roth vocal.
Right. That would be great, but it doesn't exist.
Just throwing ideas out there for them. They can have that.
Yes. So I ended up stumbling upon a band that I had never heard of before. That they are from Perth, Australia.
Well, all right.
They're cut from the same cloth as like Tame Impala and Pond. There's, I guess, something in the water in Australia and New Zealand where they pump out a bunch of psychedelic bands. So this band, they kind of sound like a cross between like Tame Impala and like Temples.
Oh,
I've
okay.
played Temples for you before.
Yeah.
But they really turn up the party. It's a band called Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
Man, people are really running out of stuff.
Yeah. But they've been around since 2014. As I said, they're from Perth, and they just put out their fourth full-length record. It's called Shiga, the Sunlight Mound. Like SHYGA exclamation mark, the Sunlight Mound.
Shiga.
I don't know what that means.
Man.
But we are going to listen to a hot jam off this record entitled Tally Ho.
Man, these guys do sound like they like to party.
They do like to party. And I think that you are going to want to party after you hear this
Okay, good.
on Htwow. What do you think, bro?
That is a hot jam. Man, everyone's recording everything so super tight and awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah, it really does. I didn't listen to the full record, but I listened to about half of it, and I liked everything I heard. And I even did a couple of selects from like the past records, and it's all good. It's interesting, you know, they are like more of a party version of like Pond or Tame Impala. Like they're not so interested in being introspective. They're more interested in just throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks, which I appreciate.
It's a jam.
Yeah, it's totally a jam.
I would like to see that. Man, if someone listens to this pod for the first time during this episode, they're going to be like, wow, these guys like to rock.
Yeah.
And they'd have no idea how sensitive we are.
How sensitive and feminine we ordinarily are.
Woo!
It's all right. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of color to add to psychedelic porn crumpets.
Do they have anywhere on there that where they got that name? What's that mean?
It's they just claim that it was chosen as random and they thought it was amusing.
Okay.
Nothing better than that.
It's random and they thought it was amusing.
Yeah, I mean it was like they put words into a hat and then they just pulled them out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying I hate it. I like it.
Do you know what a crumpet is?
It's like a little pastry.
Yes. It's
I only know that because I'm high tea.
Yes, they are actually quite good.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like
Oh, I've had a crumpet.
yeah, but like if you look at it, it's kind of like a pancake that was never flipped over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the one side has like the browned cooked surface, and then the other side has all the air bubbles.
Your base is the brown side.
Right, and then so you warm it up and you smear melted butter all over the side with the holes in it.
Or a little jam.
Or a little jam, and everything gets down in the nooks and crannies. It's like an English muffin, but better.
Mm-hmm. A little softer than an English muffin, whereas an English muffin's a little chewier.
I don't know what a porn crumpet is, or a psychedelic porn crumpet.
That's a whole other different
I would love
smear.
to try those. Like, is it a crumpet with like mushroom butter on top that you take with an adult film star?
I like that you went that route, then
making love to the crumpet,
or just having anything else on the crumpet. But I like what you've done there.
Yeah,
That's.
I mean,
good.
I would love to eat a crumpet with shrooms with a porn star.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun. My wife probably wouldn't enjoy it, but
unless it was a porn star named Steve.
Right, and then a whole different scenario paints itself.
Yeah, guys are porn stars too.
That's true.
But big
so many first times could happen.
I've got my mustache in my crumpet. That's what Steve would say.
Yes.
Because of his giant mustache in his crumpet.
Yeah, so I guess there are other big buddies and
Excuse me, darling, I've got my mustache in your crumpet.
Forgive me.
Forgive me for my mustache.
I got some whiskers stuck in the butter in your crumpet.
I've got my whiskers in your crumpets. Forgive me.
Are you familiar with King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard?
Good. God. Did you just look up the weirdest band names in history and that's what you're going with for this one?
No, I mean, outside of Tame Impala, I guess the second most famous psychedelic band from Australia is called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Man, we need to get down to Australia. Those guys are going for it.
Yeah, but they're a big influence on the porn crumpets as well. Anyway,
forgive me.
We don't need to spend any more time on that. I mean, dive in if you like what you heard, then check it out. Because I'm just trying to bring the party as much as I can, on short notice. This is not going to be like the number one rated Htwow episode ever.
I think you'll be surprised of what an EVH on the title of your podcast is going to do for you.
That's true. Yeah. Everybody will tune in for the EVH, and then they'll have to skip through the porn crumpets.
When's the last time you've had a gizzard, some gizzard?
I don't know that I've had fried gizzards. I probably had gizzards in my wife's turkey dressing from Thanksgiving.
Is a gizzard like a turkey liver?
It's from the neck, isn't it? Is it like a gland or something? Or is it the hangy downy part?
No.
What from the bell? What was it? The I don't know.
The crapple or something? Something with the crapple?
But yeah, whenever my wife makes gravy, she always, there's when you get the frozen turkey, there's the packet with all of the, there's the neck, and then the packet with the organs, and a lot of people just throw that stuff away. But that's like the base of the gravy. She chops up all that stuff into little pieces. So that's probably the only way I've had gizzards. Is what I'm saying to you.
Do you have a gizzard?
I don't think so.
I feel like we'd know if we had one. My dad at the Tinsley's fried chicken place in Huntsville used to always get the box of fried gizzards.
Yeah, so it's the muscular, thick-walled part of a bird's stomach for grinding food.
Yeah, grind it up.
Typically with grit. So like when birds swallow pebbles,
they can kind of grind it up.
The pebbles sit in their gizzard and help grind up the food.
I get it.
I guess. I don't know.
So you don't have a gizzard?
No, because I'm not a bird.
Or any other gizzards?
Yeah, only birds have gizzards.
Wow. That was one thing you try once or twice as a kid with Pops when they get some fried gizzards and you're like, nope.
It's a little too chewy, Grandpa.
I'm out.
I don't like it.
I'm out on the gizzard. Wonder if I'd like it now. Things change.
I mean, if you fry it, I might like it. I mean, I'm in the fried thing.
Yeah, no, I'm into it. So, what are we doing?
Whip it up in some cornmeal. So I wanted to. We weren't able to Super Bowl together, but I assume that you watched it in its entirety, and I wanted to get your take on the Weeknd's performance. Like, maybe not so much the tunes, because I mean, he's singing to tracks, and whether you like his music or not, that's subjective. But what did you think of the spectacle?
I got to be honest here with you, Dave. I think it's the worst thing I've seen since the Black Eyed Peas thing.
Really?
I was not entertained in one way. I thought that I kind of liked his music, and I know the last song that they played, of course, is the one that's the remix.
The Blinding Lights.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
And I thought that I would like the rest of his stuff, and like you said, this isn't about the tunes, because all the other tunes before that sounded exactly the same to me. It looked like someone was trying to do, especially with the dancer bit, trying to do some modern day Pink Floyd thing with diapers on people's heads. Am I being too harsh?
I don't know, maybe a little bit.
Did you like it? Are you a fan of The Weeknd?
I'm not a fan of The Weeknd. I remember I told you that the one time on my honeymoon when my lovely wife and I went to Italy. Back before COVID, back when we could go places. And the one time that I Shazammed a song was at some nightclub in Rome. And, they had a DJ and he was playing kick-ass music. And the one time that I Shazammed a song, it was a Disclosure song. But Weeknd was the guest vocalist.
Right.
And so I really like that tune, and I've always been aware of him, but I've never really listened to him. But because I drive with my kiddo, and we listen to Kiss FM, we listen to Top 40 radio all the time. I've heard, Blinding Lights a billion times.
Yeah, I've heard that one 1,000 times.
And I guess even though it's a total 80s paint by numbers song, I guess I appreciate the fact that he's exposing kids to that type of music, and then maybe they will branch out and discover, stuff that was actually made in the 80s.
That's sort of the reason why I thought that I would like it more, is because of that song. I thought that because of that tune, it was all going to be a bit better.
Yeah, I thought that it really dragged in the middle, like the slow number from like 50 Shades of Grey was really boring to me, with like the violins and everything. But I thought the opening was cool. I liked when they first brought in the choir and they had masks on and they looked like Jawas or sand people.
Right. Yeah.
They had like the glowy eyes. I thought that was cool, the way they unveiled the stage, the set.
I like that they did an end zone stage. I thought that was something.
Yeah, the end zone stage was cool. I know there were a lot of memes about the kind of maze within the stage.
Yeah, like it was like your toddler getting your iPad for 20 seconds.
Right. When his face is like smeared and it's like super stretched.
I hated that part. I thought
I thought it was an interesting choice and a risk, and I enjoyed the when they brought in the dudes with the bandages and they were all banging into each other. It was like chaos, and then in time with the music, then they would go into their like synchronized dancing. I thought it was cool that they took a risk there. But to me, the coolest part was when they had the 200 masked dudes, bandaged dudes on the field, because we were talking about, as we were watching, your typical halftime show, it's the midfield stage and it's surrounded by your screaming, adoring fans,
your
the
fake
people
fan.
that they your fake fans, the sponsors that they pull out to surround the stage and cheer and act like they've never seen a concert before. And so because they had the end zone stage and they had a full empty field, I thought it was really cool how they took advantage of all of that real estate. And it was almost like an Olympics opening ceremony type thing. It reminded me of like the China games, where they would have all the synchronized dancers on the field.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's my question on that.
I dug that part.
And this is my question on that, and it's what I was thinking the whole time. Was that filmed before?
No, because you could see the people in the stands, holding up their little flashy things that they got, to participate.
Or you think that he was, that was filmed on the night?
Yeah, I think that was, I don't know that his vocals were live. I don't know that every bit of it was live, but I think that
definitely not the vocal thing.
That bit on the field was live.
Do you think the thing in the back room where they were going down the hallway was live?
I don't know. I could go either way on that. I could see how he disappears and then they run like their the best take. I would like to think it was live, but yeah, we all know the tricks of the trade, so probably not, but who knows.
That was most of our conversation while we were all watching it, is we were looking around at the background even when they were performing, and we kind of kept thinking, is this happening right now? Or did they do this like 2 days ago at night and they're playing it in the stadium right now? But I don't know. I couldn't tell. Surely it would have come out now that didn't happen on the day.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I would put it above. I would put it 1,000,000 times better than Black Eyed Peas.
oh yeah, totally. I didn't say it was as bad as they were, but it's the worst one I've seen since then.
But what I do appreciate is that he, because the way that the NFL does this thing is that they get these acts to play for free. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm sure they probably get some money from Pepsi or whoever the halftime sponsor is.
He was definitely paid.
But it's just, they get all of that free airtime to 500 million people.
Oh, his record sales probably jumped up insanely in the next day.
Yeah. Well, and so the two things that I saw that he did that I really appreciate was that he sunk like $7 million of his own dollars into that stage show, to fulfill his vision of whatever he wanted it to be. And then he also, like a week before the Super Bowl, put out a greatest hits album. Mm-hmm. So he was ready to soak in all of those,
totally.
all of the free ad dollars.
Yeah, but also don't get me wrong. I'm not saying last year's was any better. Last year was horrible.
I don't know. Was last year was Maroon 5?
Yeah, that was
fucking awful.
God. Actually, you know what? Last year might have been worse than this year. That was terrible last year.
Yeah. That made me feel dirty last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, this one, it held my attention the whole time, and it never made me cringe. It never made me have a visceral negative reaction. So,
yeah. Well, at least it was different, but I did not enjoy it. But it was, yeah, you're right. It was not as bad as last year. That was just God.
Yeah. I mean, you're never gonna top Prince, so don't even try.
Well, that's the other kind of stuff. Is I think The Weeknd is big, and it might just be the fact that I don't know any of those songs except for the big one. Because every now and then when they throw a Super Bowl person out there that, when Katy Perry gets out there, whether you have any of her records or not, you know every single thing that she's saying.
Right.
The Weeknd, I can guarantee you tons of people were like, who is this? Like, I don't know any of these songs. And then they hear the last one and go, oh, I know that one. It's on a bunch of commercials. But, things are different. So,
well, it seems like they have they're done with the nostalgia acts, because they've done the last few years Katy Perry, Coldplay, Maroon 5, now The Weeknd. So they're trying.
I just got a message.
They're trying to do stuff that kids are into. But I don't know. Maybe next time it'll be like Jake and Logan Paul.
Oh, last
year.
Know. Last year was Shakira and J-Lo.
Oh, last year was Shakira and J-Lo.
Marissa just sent me that because she heard us say it over the air.
Oh, she heard me from the other room.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So it was 2 years
was the
ago.
Super Bowl last year.
God, I don't even know.
God, I don't either.
I don't even remember what happened last week.
Okay. Well, anyway, the Maroon 5 one was terrible.
Yeah. Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, she said her exact words were, the Maroon 5 fail was the year before. She sent it to both of it.
Yeah, so she says Shakira and J-Lo were awesome. So yeah, you know what? I would say
I don't
Shakira
even remember that one.
From what I remember, I would say Shakira and J-Lo were better than The Weeknd.
Yeah,
not by a lot.
For sure.
Not by a lot, but
But
those
songs.
It was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Different rules.
Man. We don't.
Are you,
how come I can't remember
Are you signed
anything?
up? Are you signed up in the station for the vaccine?
Yeah, I signed up, but when I filled out the thing, I was like, yeah, I'll be last on the. From the questions alone, I'm like, I will be the last on the list.
Right, because you're so fit and so hot.
Well, no, it's just there's everything else that's involved with. I'm like, I am not an essential person, Dave.
I have a podcast and I'm a musician, so I should get first in line.
We'll be fine if we don't hear what he thinks about Eddie Van Halen or the next time his band plays. So I'm last on the list.
But it seems like I don't know. Do you have like a big vaccine place at the campus, or
there's like
are they pumping through it?
They're supposedly A&M's supposed to get a bunch of vaccine stuff, but I'm not sure. But they're at a bunch of places around here, hospitals and stuff, but they're all around like Huntsville and Montgomery County and Madisonville, and they were like, "Are you willing to go to these places?" I'm like, "I'm willing to go to wherever." Like, just I filled out all those. I'm like, I'm good. But yeah, dude, I'm
so ready. My mom is about to get dose 2, so she's about to be in the clear.
Have you gotten any messages?
No, I saw. I mean, we're in Dallas County, so who knows how long we're gonna have to wait. But I did sign all of us up.
We'll see,
Such
Dave.
A beat down.
We'll see.
Such a beat down.
By the time we get it, there'll be a whole other SARS.
That's right. Well, so let's get back into the Van Halen book report. And you started at the beginning. Mm-hmm. And now we're checking back in 1981.
Yeah, so we're 3 years into it, and Van Halen is full-on successful, wouldn't you say at this point? I mean, there are hits at this point. I mean, people know everything off that first record, Eruption and Jamie's Cry and Running with the Devil and all that stuff is huge. Van Halen 2 was huge. And like you said, they just keep putting out records. Boom, right? When was this one put out? It was on, I'm about to play Unchained, but of course the live version. But it was put out...
That was on Fair Warning, so that
Fair
was...
Warning, 1981.
81. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is great. Man, they're at Sunset Sound again.
If you just look at their chart positioning, right? Mm-hmm. So just talking about album charts in the U.S. So Van Halen peaks at number 19.
Okay.
Then Van Halen 2 peaks at number 6. Then Women and Children First peaks at number 6. Fair Warning peaks at number 5. Mm-hmm. Then Diver Down, number 3. And 1984, number 2.
Yeah, so
I can't believe that wasn't a number 1 record. Well, it must have been like Thriller or something.
Well, wasn't Jump like their only number 1 hit?
Yeah, but I'm just talking about the album.
Yeah, the album itself, yeah. But that's a pretty, I mean, if you're going at that progression all the way up, you're a massive rock and roll band. I mean, at this time, there is pop going on. There is, you know, like you said, Michael Jackson. And then who plays the solo on Beat It?
Right.
Eddie Van Halen plays the freaking solo because he's the best guitar player in the world as far, you know.
Did we talk about that at some point on the pod? I feel like we talked about that.
What, that he played the solo on that?
Well, just the that when he was asked to do it, he came in and instead of just throwing down a solo, he kind of reworked the entire arrangement. And then Michael Jackson came back and he was like, "Hey, I hope you don't mind. I kind of rearranged stuff." And, you know, like he kind of moved one part up and one part back.
Huh. And him and Quincy Jones did that together?
Yeah.
Huh.
That when he went into the studio with Quincy, that, you know, he didn't just like, oh, okay, play me the track and I'll lay down a solo. Like he sat there and listened to it, thought about it, made some suggestions. They kind of rearranged things, and then he did the solo.
Because he plays all over it. Like he's definitely on the tune.
Yeah, and then Michael came back and he was like, "Hey, I'm not trying to step on your toes, but here's what we kind of did while you were gone." And he was like, "Love it,
I love it,
love it."
Did I sound just like him right then? I love what you did, Eddie. So you know that he wasn't in the video because he tried to distance from that a little bit. You know when the guy jumps on the car and plays the solo? That's not him, right? And beat it.
No.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be a part of the video. He tried to stay away from that. Whereas like Slash, he'll show up in a video on you. Right?
Yeah, so there were 4 singles off of this record. Unchained was the last one. So there was This Is Love, which peaked at 15, Mean Street, which peaked at 12, Push Comes to Shove, which peaked at 29, and Unchained, which peaked at 13.
Right.
But really, I think Unchained is the only one that anyone remembers from this record.
You remember So This Is Love, right? If you heard it. Well, maybe we'll play that in the After Dark because it's Valentine's Day.
That's true. It does say that this is the band's least selling album of the David Lee Roth era.
Do you know what I wanted to mention before on the last thing that we did? Do you know when Van Halen 1 came out and what day?
February 10th, 1978.
Guess what today is, Dave?
We are recording on February 10th, 2021.
Wow. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing ironic note.
Should we just quit now?
Yeah. It's kismet. Can't believe it.
It's kismet. I'm just saying. I knew I was going to do this, and I saw Jeff K put up that Van Halen 1 came out on this day.
Okay, can we just, before we play the jam,
yes,
before you get into setting up Unchained, is Diver Down their best album cover?
Yeah, because it's the Diver Down flag.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, not that I don't like the windblown hair and all this stuff in the... This one's the worst album cover.
Yeah, Women and Children First is a terrible album cover.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that as a kid, but no one ever had this one on their wall. It's just not a good album cover.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fair Warning.
Fair Warning,
Fair Warning it's a weird collage of like cartoon drawings.
It looks like some really weird early Genesis record.
Yeah, it totally doesn't make any sense for who Van Halen are and their style of music.
I don't
Makes
know
no sense whatsoever.
how they signed off on that. Like, who did that? I'm guessing they were all just so tanked that they were like, whatever, we're huge. Look at my fuzzy boots.
Yeah, so Van Halen 1 is with the flying VH logo, and it has, all 4 members in the quadrants.
Yeah, which gets a lot of bonus points because that VH, how many people copied that thing? Whoever did that logo just nailed it. I mean, so many kids.
I drew that all over my book covers.
Yeah, just a big VH. They invented branding.
And then Van Halen 2 was just the VH.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looked cool, but kind of a give up.
Right.
Then Women and Children First was like the little black and white photo in the middle of the green cover.
It looked like a Who album cover or something.
Yeah, it looked like all of them kind of jamming together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's okay.
Pretty good.
As we said, Fair Warning, terrible. Then Diver Down, just the red and white, just so simple, so good.
Now, Diver Down, isn't that an all covers record? Is it not?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think I knew that at the time, but I found that out years later. Like, I knew the Roy Orbison song, of course, and a couple of the other ones were, but then someone was like, no, they're all covers on that one. But is that not right?
Well, no, it says 5 of the 12 songs are covered.
Oh, okay. Maybe they were just exaggerating. Whoever told me that. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? They have covers on the first album has 2 covers on it. Mm-hmm. They're not afraid to do a cover.
Yeah, and then of course, 1984 was the Angel with the Pack of Smokes. I mean, iconic. But I don't know. I think it's either got to be Van Halen 1 or Diver Down. That's their best album cover.
Yeah, you're right. I can't tell if 1984 is a good album cover or it's just
you've just seen it so many
a million times. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a huge...
it's so funny how Wiki has like the albums color coded. So you have the Roth era, the Hagar era, and then the Sharon era. Which was only Van Halen 3.
Yeah, I don't think you need to include the Sharon era, do you?
No.
Is that the guy from, what's that song?
Extreme.
Yeah, but the song was...
Oh, that was...
Don't I'm never new. No, yeah. More than words. Was that your jam?
Yeah, I mean, you wish you wrote it.
I don't know, man.
All right, so set up. We're going to watch this as we listen to it. Mm-hmm. So you, the dear pod listener, will have to go to YouTube and find this.
Yeah, I would say
this is from Oakland Coliseum in 1981.
Yeah, I would say if pause. If you're not in your car, and go watch this. It is a time capsule of everything you want rock to be in 1981. It looks like, here's the setup. It looks like they've come back on stage after this is the first encore, right? Or the last encore. Who knows? They jump into it. It sounds amazing. And all you're thinking is, wait, where are all the giant amps? What's going on? Because Van Halen has the thing of, if you're playing any show anywhere and some band brings in a bunch of amps, to this day, everyone goes, what's going on? Is Van Halen playing tonight?
Right.
Because that's their deal.
Well, they would have the wall of Marshall amps, but they were all fake.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know what's going on here. It's like these all PV amps or whatever it is. And it is, they hit the lights right when he jumps off the stage at the beginning, and it is awesome looking. It is Van Halen at their top, and David Lee Roth is going crazy. They light the gong at the end, and Eddie jumps into the verse a little early, but you'll see it. But it's great. This is the one we watched when we were a kid, and
okay.
This would be on MTV.
Yeah, so from 1981, June 12th, Oakland Coliseum, Unchained by Van Halen on Htwow.
Everybody out!
being not being enough for you. But it's marching and jive, watching elements reaching like out of path to need a chance. Non-stop water rocker, blue wine murder in a South Five train. Something's been to say. Anything I'm running, something strange to say. Nothing seems to say. We love you, people. Strange to say, Unchained, and she ended my running chain. Unchained, chain, Unchained. That's it.
And then the light up VH at the end. Oh my God.
Dude, isn't that awesome?
That is so great. I don't understand how David Lee Roth's pants stay on.
I don't either. In order to pull that off, what he's doing up there, you have to look like that. Like he just,
Yeah.
God.
Well, and he's doing like Herkies and the fucking the splits.
At one time, he just did a regular heel kick.
Yeah, he was like
he just kicked his heels.
so athletic and so flexible. Unbelievable.
It's the most, but they're all just, it is full energy. I mean, Eddie and Michael Anthony's backup vocals. Do you hear that the whole time? It's like when he hits the Unchained thing, it is unbelievable how good he is at that. That's what Van Halen's been missing, I'm telling you. Michael added a little bit more than people think. But yeah, they're all just jumping
he looked
around.
Jumpy as hell in his jumpsuit.
Yeah, but they're just jumping around all over the stage. They're on each other's microphones. I mean, it is just burning.
Yeah, and you weren't lying. He not only lit the gong on fire, the mallet was on fire.
Everything was on fire. And then it looked like it was going to fall over, but it didn't, because of course it didn't.
Oh man.
He had four kick drums. Man. That That's
That was
huge.
a time capsule. I appreciate
Yeah.
that, T. Thank you for not just playing the album version, but making us go back in the Htwow time machine
Yeah.
to visit Oakland in 1981.
You know, I might need to re-listen again later on. Right then I thought Eddie went into it right, but David Lee Roth didn't start singing when he was supposed to.
Yeah, well,
Or did he come in early?
I couldn't tell. I was just so agog at everything that I was seeing. But
It's awesome.
it's so good. I'm at a loss for words.
No,
I
it's
really
hard to
am.
Yeah, please go back and watch that. Just YouTube it. 1981, June 12th, it looked like. So the record just came out. When did that record? They said it in April or something. So people just only had like a month and a half to kind of take Unchained in, and they came back with that on the last song of the night.
Yeah, I mean that was the show closer.
That was the end, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they were taking the curtain call.
Yeah, because you can't light the gong for the show's over.
No, you gotta. That's the last stunt.
Yeah, that's the rule. You can't light the gong till it's over.
Man, I mean, you think about, like you said, that Michael Anthony was the secret weapon, just his harmonies. Mm-hmm. But you think about just what iconic musicians both Eddie and Alex were for their instruments. And then David Lee Roth as, the prototypical 80s frontman.
Yeah, the 80s hard rock or metal. I don't know. See, that's the thing. They kind of get thrown into the hair metal, hard rock, any of that stuff, but they're pretty poppy.
Yeah.
I mean, or is it just pop because the songs are catchy?
Yeah, I mean it's pop with
Some dude
shreddy
shredding
guitar.
his ass.
yeah, I mean they did kind of create their own genre, and no one has been able to duplicate it. Really,
No, not in that kind of music, not in full-on guitar music. No way. But yeah, it was like they hit. I thought this was, those guys in like a Cheap Trick and people like that. I'm like, this is the coolest stuff ever. And then like, Rat comes along. I'm like, well, they're pretty cool. And then like Motley Crue, and then it became Poison, and then Warrant, and when it
Cinderella.
went downhill, it just really went downhill. After Van Halen, you were like, oh no. And then Joy Division comes along and saves all of our lives around 7th, 8th grade, and Duran Duran. So we can still keep the hairspray, but use it for different purposes.
right? Maybe cut the hair and spray it straight up.
Spray it straight up instead of like more of a windblown wings. Did you ever have wings?
Oh yeah, yeah. I had the butt cut with the feathered sides for sure.
Butt cut with the feather. It seems like a difficult haircut, but boy, they did it, didn't they?
I mean, well, you had that whatever the 80s brush was, that had like the stiff bristles with the little
Balls at the end.
ball at the end. And so you would just run that through your hair and it would just feather it. It was like magic.
Little spray.
Yeah, I was into mousse at the time. A little bit of mousse. Work it through.
Boy, is that a smell you'll never forget?
The mousse smell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good look. It's a good look.
I don't know what we were thinking. We were never going to be David Lee Roth.
There's no way. No way my hair could do that. I do want those pants, though.
You could pull off those pants.
Right now?
Yeah.
I think I could do those.
Yeah,
pants.
so if you don't go and watch the video, so his pants, no shirt, obviously. His pants have a deep V right on the pelvis, right above his junk. They're white pants.
Seemed like laces. Did he have some laces up there?
I don't think they were laces.
Okay.
They were white pants with a red stripe on either side, and then there was also fringe on either side, and then he was also wearing fringed boots, like the pants were tucked into the boots. But I mean, this was before spandex. Like, I don't know what these pants were made of.
It couldn't have been leather. They couldn't stretch like that.
No, I mean the fact that he could do all of his acrobatic karate chops and still not rip those pants or have them like slip down and have a wardrobe malfunction. It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing. He didn't seem to be worried about it.
No. Well, he didn't care.
Man, he's just walking around like a freaking lion up there. It looks insane.
I know. It's funny. We talked earlier about what drove them to ultimately split, and it does seem like David Lee Roth's penchant for getting super high on cocaine and forgetting all the words was high on the list of reasons why they broke up.
Oh, really? That was what was happening? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was part of the deal back then, right?
Yeah. I mean, are we rock stars or are we not? Well, I mean, it's been a while since we lost Eddie, but it's good to revisit, and it makes me want to go and check my collection, because I think I do have at least one, maybe two Van Halen records. Mm-hmm. I think I have. Oh gosh.
I think I definitely have 1 and 2.
I think I have Women and Children First. I think that's the only one I have, and I don't know why I randomly have that one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, 1 and 2. I mean, I really need to go back and find those and listen to those and really take them in for what they are, because they did invent a genre, and they did just take parts of other stuff that was going on in the mid to late 70s and totally make it into something brand new.
Yeah, and it was like he's a guitar purist, which is good, but he's not afraid to use an effect on you. Like, he'll throw some crazy phasers and all kinds of stuff all over, even on the first record. He just doesn't care. If he likes something, I mean, he doesn't care enough on Jump. He used a full-on synthesizer sound. Bum, 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 bum. I mean, how many metal people were like, what are they doing? Van Halen doesn't use synthesizers. What's happening? And he just killed it with like some Oberheim. Just, I'm going to start off the tune like this, and freaked everyone out because he doesn't care. He's Eddie Van Halen.
I know. Do you want to hear something off that record? This is probably my favorite Van Halen video of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
With David Lee Roth on the wires, swinging across the stage.
And then eventually Michael Anthony is swinging across like a bottle of Jack Daniels. Remember he had the Jack Daniels bass?
Yeah, was that around this time?
I think so.
I mean, it was like it was water, like food coloring, right? They weren't like really chugging Jack Daniels. There's no way.
No, eventually, didn't they have a bar on stage? With like Eddie's doing like Eruption, they're all over there having a drink.
I have a bartender.
Yeah.
We hope that you enjoyed this wistful look back at a simpler time. And finger tapping was an innovation that we had never heard of, and it blew our minds. Good.
Yeah, we're running a little bit hot tonight. I can barely see the road from the heat coming on.
When we're in the video, he gets out a hairdryer and goes,
Reach down between my legs, ease the seat back.
She's running, I'm buying.
Yeah.
Right behind it, real deal me now. Got the feeling, power steering. Busy robbing me, no stopping now.
you just at a loss for words, Dave. You just,
I know,
see,
this
you
has
just
been
can't stand it.
episode 43 of Htwow, High Tea with Old Waiver, February 2021. I mean, we've done our best to pay tribute to EDH. We've done our best to put together a pod from a social distance. Hopefully we can be together again next month. But thank you for listening. And hey, tune into the After Dark for more Van Halen.